What sort of trends are you seeing from the employer side? Are they asking you for different things they were when you started the program?
For sure.
Yeah.
It was funny because I think a lot of it was, we just need trainers. And then I would push back and say, but what do you need from them? And because we're making trainers, but we're still seeing turnover, right? You've hired a couple people and they're not there anymore. So obviously there's some kind of gap in this knowledge. Some of the big ones is some employers will say specifically, we need niche trainers. We need people who specialize working with youth. We have a senior population. How do we work with those people? We don't have anyone who's comfortable working with seniors. And then of course we have a lot more, we're seeing corrective exercise. People are now realizing, well, I'm not going to go to a physical therapist. Can't I just go to my gym? Well, but who are you going to go to at the gym, And so now we have people, it's shoulder pain, it's low back pain, very common, plantar fasciitis, and we're talking corrective exercise. And so we heard that need and we built a brand new corrective exercise class. And it's very advanced. And these students get hours of assessment practical to hands-on with actually training a person working on corrective strategies. And we even bring practitioners in from the industry to come in and talk to them about, here's what you're going to see from chiropractors. And we see, wow, there's a lot of alignment there, to people who are doing this as a profession. I've niched, and this is what my niche is, and you guys can do that stuff too. I see a lot of people who are dealing with athletics specifically. We are looking for certain places where they cater to this particular sport, and we're seeing, of course, the amount of money going into sports that some people are looking for. I want somebody who's good working with this kind of athlete. And now we have a brand new advanced class on strength and conditioning starting this fall, as a matter of fact, because we heard that need and we know it has to be filled. So those are the niches that I'd see are probably coming up the most. One thing that I'm actually kind of surprised about that we're not seeing more of is we need people who are more proficient with nutrition coaching. I think that's still an area in the industry that employers feel it takes too much to manage, and I think that they're still missing the boat on that. I think it's the other 23 hours of the day, and that it's not just that it's been ingrained into me. I mean, one of my friends and mentors, a person who's changed my life, is Neil Spruce, and I absolutely believe in that. It's the other 23 hours of the day, and that's what's going to help them sleep better and recover better and be able to perform better, and that longevity aspect of it. And I think that oftentimes we think, well, a trainer's too busy, so we don't have time for that. Well, it's because we don't elevate that part of the programming to make it important. And we have nutrition in all of our classes as part of the curriculum, and part of it too is how do you coach a person in nutrition? Not just here are carbs and proteins and fats, but what can you then do? And it's using web-based programs, using applications to be able to track if your clients are following a nutrition program. And it's not you need to eat this because that's delving into a registered dietitian's realm, but it's being able to keep it in the forefront of their minds. And I'm surprised more employers are not stepping forward and saying, we are going to make this a part of what we do. And there are some that are, no doubt, and that this is some of their, they call them pillars in some cases, they're pillars of their programming, and that is a part of it. But I think we're going to continue to provide nutritional programming as part of our curriculum, because that is going to be a differentiator for a lot of fitness professionals that, oh yeah, well, I also do nutrition. Yeah. I don't just do the exercise component.
Yeah, speaking to Neil about the Apex program and how successful that was financially for people to do it as well, and you kind of think, well, why aren't more businesses linking those together? Selling a diet plan at point of sale. What do you think that is? Do you think that's, as you say, because people are afraid between the line of a dietitian and a trainer, and it's just the grey area they're not comfortable with? What do you think more? Because when he explained it to me, I thought, well, this is crazy. This is amazing.
It's a no-brainer. Yeah. I think for a long time it was I don't want to overstep my bounds, and what is the scope of practice, but it's not overstepping your bounds when you know what your boundaries are. And I think the problem is you have people who understand the importance of it. They build it into as part of what they do. But I think the pressure is we need to deliver fitness in movement, and they don't see fitness as nutrition. And I think that they are looking at, our emphasis needs to be a quality workout and a quality experience during that session or when they're at the gym. and we're forgetting that part of the experience is the fact that they're getting results. And I think a lot of it too is they're not unwilling to manage it. And you end up with trainers, and trainers, we're a stubborn bunch anyway. Once we learn, you talked about, a person learning a certain thing and how do they kind of relax that to be able to be willing to open up more of their sort of briefcase to get more information, and it's hard. It's hard. It's no different for me than saying, hey Matthew, how about I'm going to show you some cool tips on how to drive better. You're like, I've been driving for years. What are you going to show me that I don't already know? And so immediately we put up these little barriers to learning more information, and nutrition's a big one because there are so many theories, there are so many experts that have their own opinions about it that it's almost to the point where we're afraid to align with something, and we're afraid that if we align with something that's potentially inaccurate, then that tarnishes our reputation. And I think that's probably why people don't want to pull the trigger. And I think from a liability standpoint, a lot of employers go, I don't even want to touch it.
Yeah.
Which is interesting to me because if you choose not to touch it and you just kind of let it be the wild, wild west and trainers do their own thing, well then, isn't that a liability? You can't do the out of sight, out of mind. Well, I didn't know what they were doing. Well, if they're working for you, shouldn't you know what they were doing? So we could probably shoot holes in that argument. And I wish I could get more of a concrete reasoning, because even when I ran my own gym, I didn't have a nutrition program necessarily. I used, well, now it's .fit. I used a web-based program, and registered my clients to do it, and it was passive income for me. They had supplements that were sent there, but I didn't write the nutrition programs. They were using the web-based nutrition program that's created by an expert, a dietitian. I didn't have to be the dietitian, which removed a lot of that pressure off of me. It was, let me help you manage that, and I'm gonna coach you for it more rather than me being prescriptive. And that's, to me, where we overstep that boundary in many cases. So I think the coaching side of it is where we're missing that, and I wish I could tell you that this is where we're missing it and why we're missing it, but people who are really doing a good job, they're not missing it, which is why they are the most successful people in the industry.